Alright, so first up on the docket tonight is Boros Burn and Pioneer. You're late. Can't believe you. Yeah, I know, man. I know, buddy. I'm sorry. So first up tonight's Boros Burn in Pioneer. This is a little bit of an interesting list. It's a little different than what we normally play. So this one plays one Zurgo, and it plays 2 Wild Slash and 2 Spikefield Hazard over the traditional 4 Viashino Pyromancer, which I think is pretty interesting. I'm pretty excited to try it and see what it's like. We're also not playing a lot at the stage. We're just playing 4 Skewers instead. So that is going to be pretty spicy to say the least. Also, we've mixed up the sideboard a little bit here. 4 Chain of the Rocks, 4 Roiling Vortex, 3 Searing Bloods. Those are all pretty stock. And then we're running 3 Curse of Shaken Faith. I kind of forgot about that card, but I think it is going to be a really good answer to all of the like the Phoenix decks. I think it's going to be a really good answer to Ascendancy decks and the Lotus Field decks. So I'm pretty excited to try it. So yeah, okay, I got enough points. I had to make sure I had enough points. Alright. Let's see. There's a Pioneer Preliminary. Nope. 15 hours, which means it's like while I'm at work sometime tomorrow, so that's not possible. Alright, oh well. I was like, that means they're about means the events are about up for the week, which means they're about to post the new events. Hopefully we can play in one or something sometime soon. I really like to play in the events. Even if I scrub out of them, I like to play in them. So, hoping the games don't take too long to find tonight. I posted it on Twitter, but for anybody who doesn't follow me on Twitter, I split top 4 at a local 1K on Sunday. Played Modern Burn, and it felt pretty solid. I was playing the 20th land, and the 20th land really gave some consistency to the deck, so I will be on the 20th land for the foreseeable future. If we ever do a Paper Pioneer event, I'm playing Gates. Are you talking about like the Gates deck from Standard? That would be something else. Hey, Wiley, what's going on? How are you, buddy? Alright, we got an opponent. Let's do this. Okay, I already like this hand. Yeah, we're going to keep this. Alright, so it's humans, which means Soul-Scar Mage is pretty safe on turn 2. I don't really play removal spells on turn 2, so... I'm actually going to say go here and see what happens. Oh yeah, Rams, Colossus, Gates Ablaze, good lord. It's been a minute since I've seen that deck. I'm not going to lie, that would be pretty fun to play in Pioneer, I feel like, though. I would be interested to see that. Hey, Adoxy, what's going on, man? Red deck weird? Yeah, you're funny, man. If you think me playing a red deck is weird, then you're in the wrong place. So I'm going to use my Wizard's Lightning on the Dauntless Bodyguard here. Not that it matters. Soul-Scar Mage would have given the Kytheon the -1/-1 counters anyway. I'm pretty willing to make this trade here. Oh, it had Indestructible. I wasn't even thinking about that. That was just a bad play on my part. Probably have a Brutal Cathar in their hand if they hit a 3rd land. They did miss a land drop last turn, so we know they're running all spells here. Why not bolt the Kytheon? I strictly should have bolted the Kytheon there. If we got lucky, it would have let our opponent If we got lucky, our opponent would have stacked the Bodyguard and it would have taken 2 for the price of 1 because of the Soul-Scar Mage. So that was just a me looking at chat, not paying super attention mistake there. Oh no! All right, so we're taking 3 here. All right. See, so we did get the 2 for the price of 1 there, which is pretty nice. We'll not complain about that. Our opponent's probably wondering what happened. Thank you, Soul-Scar Mage. So, Gillybean's correct play earlier that he pointed out of actually killing the Kytheon earlier would have gotten us a 2 for 1 earlier then, so worked out pretty well for us. Alright, let's hit something good. That's not exactly what I had in mind. So oddly enough, I think it's actually better to use the Den of the Bugbear to block here. Because we can use the Den pretty effectively. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Okay. Okay, so we're going to activate Den. We're going to block the Luminarch Aspirant with the Den. That gets a counter. Oh, that's bad. Alright, Brave the Elements. Yep, our opponent chooses red. And it's a pretty good play there by our opponent. They flip into Gideon, and now we're kind of in a tough spot here. Removal spell off the top, please. Alright, that was not the removal spell we were hoping for. And we're going to say go. Now, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what series of draws lead to us winning this game. Gonna be honest, it kind of feels like none. If I'm being honest. So probably put that on the Hopeful Initiate. That makes sense. Crash in with the clowns. Oh man. Yeah, there's nothing that's gonna win us the game from here. Like even Wild Slash isn't really gonna do anything. All right. These seem good. I like Eidolons in the play. They have a tough time dealing with those. Zurgo does not block, so I auto do not like Zurgo. While Boros Charm doesn't interact with their board, I kind of like it because it gives indestructible, so... I don't know if I like it that much, though. It doesn't interact with the board in any way. I think I'd rather just be playing removal spells. I think we'll try it like this and see what happens. I don't think we can keep this. One lander on the play. Oh, at least this one has a bunch of removal spells in it, I guess. Alright, we're going to hope that we peel into a land. Having Soul-Scar Mage in our 6 automatically makes our 6 better than our 7, so... We're just going to say go here. See no reason to do anything. If they play Thalia, we will Wild Slash the Hopeful Initiate here. Okay. They're definitely going to give this... They're trying to save it with the Brave the Elements here, I imagine. Yeah, I was like, that's what it feels like they're doing. Well... I think we're just going to say go here again. Hold up Wizard's Lightning. I mean, if they attack and don't have Brave the Elements, it's just a blowout here. Okay. That's fine. Let's cast it now and see what they do. Do they have another Brave the Elements in their hand? They do not. Okay. Now we get to make this a clean trade here, which I feel pretty okay about. We have multiple options for the lieutenant here. Land, please. I mean, there's nothing we can do about not drawing a land. Like, I will almost always keep a one-lander on 6 with 4 removal spells in it against humans, as opposed to mulliganing here. Like, so mulligan down, like in our 7 had one land, it was the same problem. I mean, yeah, it is a little unlucky, but I mean, okay. We're just going to say go here. They didn't have Brave the Elements earlier, so if they had Brave the Elements, they drew it. Alright, so they still don't have Brave the Elements. They're going to get rid of that. Searing Blood deals with, which I can 5, going to 7. Alright, so we play Soul-Scar Mage. We're not going to let them go to combat here. Searing Blood on the Luminarch Aspirant. The only thing that really is a blowout here for us is the is a Brave the Elements. All right. If they attack with both, we're going to throw the Soul-Scar Mage in front of the Kytheon, which they probably really don't care about because it just involves them giving it indestructible. But it also doesn't hurt us in any way. I was like, man, Chain to the Rocks would be awesome right here. Alright, so they probably drew another land if they're playing their land. They're just going to keep protecting their Kytheon, which is fine. I mean, it's annoying, don't get me wrong, but it's fine. Alright, let's just get Chain of the Rocks off the top here. I'm going to do this now to give them less chances of drawing Brave the Elements off the top. If they have Brave the Elements here, we're just dead. Alright, so that becomes an 0-1. Dyer's Lieutenant just kills me here. Brutal Cathar also does it. Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, our hand just didn't really pan out there. You know, the funny part is, like, I feel very good about that matchup. Like, I actually really enjoy that matchup. Just did not pan out for us there, so that's unfortunate. Sometimes that happens, though. Things just don't break your way when you need them to sometimes, so... I really like, so, I don't know, like, I feel really good about Burns, like Burns' sideboard guide. I'm going to be honest, like, it's kind of weird. Like, in Modern, I like a lot of the main deck matchups in Modern with Burn, but in Pioneer, I don't feel that way about things. I feel like the thing that makes Burn so good in Pioneer is the fact that you get to play the best removal, and you just have, like, really good disruption. Like, Curse of Shaken Faith is probably, like, one of, like... It's very underplayed, and it's a very good card. Gigantha? Okay, so that means it's probably Niv and or... I think Ascendancy plays Gigantha. I don't know, I think there's... What? Is that a Guild Gate? Okay, am I playing against Gates? If I'm playing against Gates after Bryson was talking about earlier, I'm blaming him for this until the end of time. So I am going to... We have Play with Fire here, so there's no reason to play the land. I'm going to attack and see what they do, because... I was like, if they have a removal spell, they're likely to play it on the Soul-Scar Mage to stop us from having... Oh my gosh, this is Gates. Wow, what are the odds? This was a really hard matchup in Standard, because there were just so, like, the Plaza of Harmony gained you life. Like, there were just so many things that could go wrongly. It could just go poorly for you when you played against this matchup in Standard. We're just going to go upstairs. Like, I am just going to try and punish them as much as I can this turn. Yeah. Yeah, we just want Boros Charm on top. Alright, our opponent's at 6, and we have a Boros Charm on top, so anything 3 or less this turn kills them. Hand go Burr. Yeah, that was actually like one of the better draws that we could have, like, that. Having 3 1-drops like right there was just insane. Draw a card for each gate tap this way. Alright, they go to 7. Boros Charm still kills them. They go to 5. They're still dead. Unless they're going to put another Plaza of Harmony into play. Oh my gosh, they are. Boros Charm puts them to 4. They take 2, go to 2. Alright, well the good news is that there's not more. Like, there's only one more in the deck, and if the fact that they had 3 of those things in their top X cards is insane. Alright, I'm not going to overextend here by playing the other Soul-Scar Mage. They're already Eidolon locked, so... And there's no reason to hold up, to pretend to have anything, because if we had something, we would have played it. Like, they're at 2. Okay. Well, they're going to try and draw some cards here. I mean, I respect it. Anything 3 or less kills them here, so... Omnath. At least I've already played a land, I guess. Alright, burn spell, please. That actually does it. How about that? No, it does not, because of... That's unfortunate. It actually doesn't do it. I wasn't counting that Soul-Scar Mage was at 1. So if we played the Soul-Scar Mage last turn, we would have won the game this turn. Alright, we'll play Soul-Scar Mage and say go. Now this turn, I'm sure we'll get blown out this turn by playing our Soul-Scar Mage and overextending somehow. Man, there were so many things that won the game right there off the top. They go to 5. Arboreal Grazer. Feels bad, man. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, we can't not attack in that situation. I mean, I guess our out is to... Yeah, I don't really know what our out was there. Yeah, the fact that they saw all 3 of their 4 Plaza of Harmonies in the top X cards was insane. God, and that thing's a 10/10. There's absolutely nothing that deals 5 off the top of this deck, so... And we don't even have light up the stage anymore to, like, draw into, like, a couple of burn spells. You're gonna Growth Spiral the 4th one into play? Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna concede here. Well, we had a chance to win the game, but came up a little short there. Roiling Vortex seems like it's gonna be really good. So, I don't really think Curse of Shaken Faith is going to, like, really do a ton, if I'm being honest. I mean, like, they're trying to, like, tap out and do a lot of things, especially early game, so I do think Eidolon is very good. Off the top of my head, these seem like the worst cards. Spikefield Hazard only does 1... Wild Slash is worse than Play with Fire, and I think our early game creatures are important to winning the game here. So I think we're just going to try it like this. Maybe we see something crazy here, and we think that bringing in Curse of Shaken Faith is better on the draw. And maybe because they have Ram, it's worth it to play, to bring in Chain to the Rocks. I mean, the only problem with that is that, like, we end up sitting with Chain of the Rocks in our hands if they're not doing anything. Play Vortex and say go. Now, while we're tapped out here, they can gain 3 life if they want to. They do have that possibility. Playing one of their Plaza of Harmonies now feels pretty good. We're just going to say go here. There will probably not be a turn for the rest of the game where I take down activation of Vortex, so... Now, in this situation where I know there's 0 opportunity of them ever gaining life, I'm just going to go ahead and cast a Wizard's Lightning here. Alright, so we play Lightning Strike, we attack for 2, and now we get to hold up Vortex. We only need to get through a couple more turns here before we're able to just kind of... Okay, go off here. I don't really want to say go off, but we have the capability to win the game. Alright, well... Cast all of our spells. Put our opponent to 1 here. Our opponent hasn't really done much this game. I don't know, it's been kind of been one of those games. Alright, yeah, that was weird. Alright, so here's where we get to decide, do we want Chain of the Rocks in some number? Like, since we're on the draw, do we cut... Do we cut Zurgo and Soul-Scar Mage and bring in 2 Chain of the Rocks? Is that good enough? I don't know. What do you guys think? Does anybody have any thoughts? I'm actually, like, kind of looking for a little backseat driving here, if I'm being honest. Or maybe we're supposed to cut the Play with Fires. No, maybe we cut a Play with Fire and have 2 Chain of the Rock, because we want all of our interaction, like we want all of our Soul-Scar Mages. Alright, we're going to bring in 2 and hope it's enough. They only play 4 Rams, so it's not like we have to have it or anything, but... And nothing we saw last game made me think that I want Curse of Shaken Faith. So, I mean, this hand does come with a little bit of risk. Like we have early threat, we have an early threat, we have Play with Fire to help us scry, and we have Vortex to try to hold up activations and stuff. So, I think we keep this. Okay, our opponent's on a mulligan to 6, so... You know, I think it honestly might be worth getting in as many points as we can here. Like, just Play with Fire... Like, there's not really any removal that they could have here that's going to, like, screw us up or, like, really hurt us or anything. I think we're going to put Lightning Strike on the bottom, as weird as that sounds. So we're just going to go ahead and put our opponent to 12 here. We know they're not playing Omnath on turn 3. mean, hopefully they just have like tap land into nothing here. And then next turn we can get down Vortex and hold up activations the rest of the game. This feels like a ram. Okay. I mean, I'm also okay with that. Alright, we're going to keep pushing the limits a little bit here. It's a little risky to keep just, like, not leaving up. I mean, I guess that was really the first turn that we did not have the ability to stop them from gaining life. I was hoping that the opponent would bring out the Axis of Mortality secret tech. Is Axis of Mortality that weird card that, like, gains you a bunch of life and does some stuff? I can't remember exactly what it does, but isn't that what it is? Am I thinking of the right thing? Nostalgia? I feel like I remember getting blown out by that thing one time in Standard for some reason. That's definitely Omnath. Our opponent can't gain life, which is nice. Alright, burn spell to win the game, please. That's pretty good off the top. You like to see that. I think I'm just going to go ahead and run this out, too. Like, what the heck? Like, I ironically think that the 3 Vortexes here actually been insane. That has actually kind of been insane. It's the one that lets you switch life totals. Yeah, okay. See, I knew it was something like something weird like that. But yeah, I remember getting blown out by something like that. I remember getting blown out by that card one time playing Standard. Man, if our opponent's playing that, we're toast here. Like if they play Axis of Immortality, we're done. I have to say that would also kind of be a fun way to lose the game, ironically. I mean, if they have Growth Spiral into other Plaza of Harmony, there's not much I can do about it here. Okay, so they go to 5. Okay. Man, imagine if the Ram had haste. Let's draw a burn spell right here and win the game, please. Or another Chain of the Rocks would be cool. I could live with that too. Soul-Scar Mage isn't great, but it soaks up 2 of whatever they're doing, so... Like, even Skewer or Wizard's Lightning would have been really good there. Because I would have been able to just cast it and still hold up 1 Vortex activation during their upkeep. I think having 3 activations here is going to get me out of this. Because I'm going to block given the option here. So, as long as they're not able to, like, pump that thing up to, like, a... You know, like a 9/9 or something crazy... I mean, it would have to get to 12. Right? Okay. We are getting dangerously close. This puts me at 7, so they need 2 more points to kill me. They need 2 more Guild Gates to kill me. 2 more Guild Gates or a removal spell does it, actually. Man. Wow, they almost did it. I almost lost to this thing. You know, the funny part is if I had bought Lurrus or something here, I would be dead. I go to 5. I go to 2 off the Vortex triggers here. Play this Sego. I have 3 activations of the triggers here. Okay. Alright. Well, we almost lost the gates. Would have been interesting. It's so funny. I have literally never seen that card. I've never played against that deck in Pioneer, and then all of a sudden Bryson's talking about it like as the stream's starting, and I play against it. That's crazy. It's funny how things work out like that. It was a close match, though. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of hope that we play against something that I get to that I get to sideboard in Curse of Shaken Faith for. I would really like to. I'd really like to see that card in action. I played that card when it got printed a few months ago. Like whenever it first came out, I played it in the sideboard of this deck one time, and it was pretty good against Phoenix. But I would love to see it against Ascendancy or Lotus Storm. Like I think that it would just be like insane. So am I keeping the one lander or no lander here? Yeah, I think this is don't know what those black gates were for. I think honestly those gates are just to get more guild gates in. Like I think like that's just like kind of like the mana base you're stuck with. Or I guess they used to be during standard. I don't know if they are now. I have to mulligan this. This hand's a lot better. We'll keep this and put a... I guess we'll put Zurgo back. Swiftspear is probably almost assuredly better. Yeah. Especially on the draw for whatever we're playing against here, so... Is this the mono green deck? I'm expecting to see a lot of the mono green deck. That mono green, the mono green devotion aggro-y deck. That Mogged was playing. Mogged played it in the Pioneer, the Mana Traders Pioneer event, and did really well with it. He top 8'd, and then Corey top 8'd the Pioneer Challenge, Corey Baumeister, last weekend with it. So I think that deck will be seeing a lot of popularity. Now, obviously, this is just Winota, but that is something that I think will be seeing a lot of popularity. So. Run out Swiftspear, play Eidolon number 2, and say go. Now, because we were on the draw, I feel like our hand's not super great here because they're probably just going to like play land number 4 and play Chariot here. There's not really a reason for them to play Winota. Winota does not trigger a Brutal Cathar, and it's just a 4-mana 4/4 this turn. So, imagine this is Chariot inbound. Yep. Chariot takes nothing off Eidolon too, so that's really bad for us. This is tough. Like this is... So we either put ourselves to 14 knowing that we can load up enough to block the Chariot if needed. Yeah, so I think we got to get the Chariot off the field if I'm being honest. Like I don't really think there's another option here other than trying to get the Chariot off the field because like that is the one card that like Burn just cannot beat. Like having to play against Chariot's so hard. And if I attack with the Eidolon there, they're just going to go to 14. There is no way that my opponent is going to trade any of their creatures for my Eidolon. Especially not Brutal Cathar, because if I trade Brutal Cathar, then I mean they're just it's the same board, they just don't have a Brutal Cathar, so okay. Brutal Cathar puts them to 14. Yep. That math checks out. Man, if their last card is Winota here, it is just like... It is just going to be Pound Town. I would have bluff attacked on your third turn and instant conceded if the opponent blocked. That may be crazy. I mean, I don't think there's anything crazy about that. Like, it's just one of those situations. Like, you know, a lot of games require plays like that, Nostalgia. Like, in my opinion, like where you get into a spot and it's like, okay, I have to force my opponent to make a mistake here if I'm gonna win. Like, that's my only outs. Now I get to jam all 4 of my creatures in front of the Chariot here, and we're going to take 4, go to 10, and then I'll be left with a couple of threats here. I mean, that's not terrible. Like, Spikefield Hazard isn't great. I would have definitely rather have seen like a Wild Slash there. Yeah, there's no way to not let those flip, unfortunately. We're just kind of taking 6 here. This Winota. Oh, no. Oh. Okay. Yeah, we'll just instant concede to that. 4 Chain of the Rocks. 4 Searing Bloods. Shaken Faith. Vortex, no. Not really a big fan of Zurgo here. It doesn't do a lot. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of Zurgo in general. It's just kind of one of those cards that I play. I like Eidolon on the play. Boros Charm does not interact with the board. Maybe Swiftspear is our worst creature here. I would cut Lavarunner, but I need Lavarunner to turn on Wizard's Lightning. So I think we're just going to try it like this. Yeah, there's no way we're keeping that and winning the game. I mean, I feel like there's also no way we're keeping this and winning the game. Like, I think I just got to mulligan this and hope for something better. I think that's the play. Like, I wish this hand had a threat, but I don't know. There's probably not a 5-card hand in Burn that beats Winota, honestly. Like, there's nothing they're playing this turn that I need to Lightning Strike, so I'm just gonna play that tapped. Yeah, there's nothing, like, there's probably not a 5-card hand in Burn that you can keep that will allow you to win the game against Winota on 5. Now, like in mono red, like the mono red variations, like the aggro, just the creature-based aggro decks can probably have some kind of start combined with, like, you know, some like decent creatures and stuff like that to like help make it possible. It's just not super likely. We're going to say go. I don't don't think it's correct to Lightning Strike the Elvish Mystic so they didn't have the additional mana here. I mean, Chariot is Chariot on this turn. There's not much I can do about it. I think we might be Lightning Striking a token here. Yeah, we're just gonna concede. No matter what their hand is there, we're not pulling that one out. Like, that's a tough matchup. Winota is hard to beat with the burn deck and Pioneer. So the funny part is I've added these Curse of Shaken Face to my sideboard to help me beat up on all these Ascendancy decks and all these like blue-red Phoenix decks, and I can't seem to play against one. I cannot. I feel like every time I end up with a deck that I feel like a sideboard plan that I feel like, okay, this is good against like X of the field. Like, I never play against that side of the field, and then like it's just this like vicious back and forth. It's honestly kind of funny, like, because our deck is set up pretty well to beat up on like other creature strategies. You just kind of have to play Searing Blood. Like, honestly, like Searing Blood is like one of those cards that I'm really not a big fan of. Like, I like the card and I understand its value. I just don't really like it, especially like in this deck. Like, this hand does not have a creature in it, but I think we're forced to keep this hand because we have 3 lands and 4 spells and we have both colors. The Pallet Town Hero. If our opponent plays nothing, I will just... just Jeskai control? Maybe it's like Jeskai mid-range. Bottom that. We do not want a mountain. Let's run out Soul-Scar Mage. Let's play this tapped and say go. Uh-oh. Alright. Let's Lightning Strike them. Play Lavarunner. Try to attack for 4. They probably have some kind of sweeper effect next turn, but I feel like this is what we got. I am always lucky in this regard. Once I put 11 cards against Amulet Titan in the sideboard of a Sultai Death Shadow deck and run into Amulet Titan 3 times in the next 2 leagues. Man, that's crazy. That is actually like, I would say that I would call that pretty lucky too. Like, that's pretty awesome, man. You gotta take those ones where you can get them. Like, when you do stuff like that and it works out for you, man, like, you just gotta take those and roll with them. Our opponent is probably just casting Torrential Gearhulk here. And trying to, just trying to, like, beat us down that way. We're probably going to do it during our upkeep. Try to tap all our lands down. And, yeah, exactly. See, they're going to Gearhulk the Magma Opus during our upkeep and try to tap our lands down and kill our Soul-Scar Mage. Now, they are going to get to kill our Soul-Scar Mage here. But I'm not going to let them tap down the lands. Well, they're going to tap down 2 of them, but I'm going to cast Boros Charm. Go upstairs, hit him with the dagger. Oh, no, I should have used that one. That was not smart. I thought they got the tap down 4 permanents, but it's only 2. That was a mistake on my part. Alright, well, we drew a 1-drop. If I would have drawn a Boros Charm right there, I would have kicked myself, honestly, or a Lightning Strike or anything. I would have kicked myself very hard for doing that. And it's just Jeskai Opus control. That's all this deck feels like to me. Okay, so they're just attacking with that. What's exiled? Boros Charm. Alright, we buy Lurrus, we say go. They know our only card in our hand is Lurrus. Alright, so they do play Censor. I kind of figured they did, but it's good to know that. It's more free, it's free information that we didn't have, so. They keep plussing. They're obviously not worried about our Soul-Scar Mage here. Not that I can blame them. I wouldn't be worried about our Soul-Scar Mage here. They attack. I'm just going to throw the Soul-Scar Mage out in front. Let our Soul-Scar Mage do a little bit of blocking. Discards 2 lands. Okay. We're probably playing some number of vetoes in the main. At least I think it makes sense. Dig through time? Okay, so now they're probably... I imagine they're looking for, like, some kind of counter spell, whether it be, like, Absorb. Oh, sorry. Whether it be Absorb or, I don't know, like some kind of Dissolve effect. Untap, Steam Vents, and a Sulfur Falls, I'm sure. Drawing Boros Charm would be the best option here because we get to lead on Lurrus and then cast Boros Charm if they do have a counterspell. And if they don't, we just get to play Lurrus and say go. Boros Charm off the top. Alright, well, we'll run out the Lurrus here. That actually resolves. I'm kind of surprised. We're going to say go here. I mean, I imagine they have to have an answer for both of our threats here. Okay. Man. This anger. Is he just going to deal 4 to me? I mean, I guess he could deal 4 to me. I guess the better play is to try to hit Lurrus and Soul-Scar Mage. Now, the cool thing is that we get to use Wild Slash to shrink the Elemental token and jump in front of Torrential Gearhulk, go to 2, and then have Boros Charm as an out. So we're giving ourselves a chance here, at least, to try and make something happen. So he's deciding to tap those two? Okay. Alright, that wins in the game. Not much we can do about that one. So their entire combo is actually just playing. I mean, I guess they don't have it. So Curse of Shaken Faith here makes all of their torrential Gear Hulks just worse, which I personally like. Leaving 2 Play with Fires. I take out the Play with Fires here because I think Play with Fire is the worst. Like, it's just the worst spell against these kinds of these controlling kind of decks. So I like this hand a lot. We have turn 1 Swiftspear into turn 2 Eidolon. I mean, honestly, like when you're on the play in with any kind of burn or aggro deck, turn 2 Eidolon is your best play. Like, I love having turn 2 Eidolon. Like, even when I'm on the draw, I really enjoy having turn 2 Eidolon because most of the time it's good enough to be okay. The only time you really get behind is when you're playing against some kind of aggro deck. Alright. Our opponent's 18. If we hit a land here, we have Lightning Strike into Skewer next turn, which feels pretty good, so... So we yield to this. Go to 15. I don't want to walk into Anger of the Gods here, but I do want to put as much pressure on as I can. Alright, so they have nothing, or they have a Boros Charm here, maybe. Their first 2 turns consisted of doing nothing. That's awesome. Oh, they're going to discard the Opus. Okay, that's fine. You know, I didn't think about it a ton, but now that I'm looking back on it, the Curse of Shaken Faith is basically saying deal 2 mana or deal 2 damage to them. I really don't know how I feel about that. Our opponent goes to 5. Haste creature wins the game here. Eidolon is also really good. So I'm going to take this chance to play Soul-Scar Mage into Eidolon here and just say go. Now, when you're on the play like this and you can get under these decks like this, like when you can have these really good couple of aggressive starts, you're really opening yourself up to having a good game against these kind of decks. Now our opponent's at 3 and we have a Lightning Strike. The only card that they could have here to get them out of this is Spell Pierce. I highly doubt they're playing Spell Pierce, so I'm just going to jam a Lightning Strike here. It's possible they had Spell Pierce there, though. Or if the opponent double escalates to Collective Brutality, discarding Lingering Souls and Faithless Looting, feels bad, man. Those Mardu Pyromancer days will never come back. Dude, the Mardu Pyromancer deck was really sweet. That was one of those mid-rangey decks that I actually really enjoyed, and it was really good. That was a really good deck. The fact that you could play Mardu with Blood Moon was also really sweet. I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. But that deck was so. I made the mistake of playing Affinity at a team open right after that deck became popular, and let me tell you, I played against it 2 rounds in a row, and it was the longest 2 rounds of my life. It was miserable. So I think we'd rather have Zurgo and the 2 Play with Fires here. I don't think we really want the Curse of Shaken Faith. They're not really playing multiple spells in a turn. The only time they do that is when they're playing Gear Hulk, and even then they can just play around that if they want to, so I think bringing that in was a mistake on the front end there. So we have the ability to scry, and we have doubled into the Bugbear here. try it. I don't know if it's right or not. There, very, very, very rarely ever will you see me keep 5 lands. In an aggro deck. But man, I don't know, like, having double Bugbear... So, if we decide to... Let's see, we're going to attack. We're going to cast Play with Fire here. If we decide to... on top of its owner's library... That's fine, actually, because I'm going to play this... I'm going to play this and scry that to the bottom, because I don't want Soul-Scar Mage. I don't think that card is going to let us win the game from here, so I'm actually going to discard that. Or I'm going to put it to the bottom. And you watch, we'll draw one anyway. Okay, our opponent plays a tapped land. Alright, drawing a land was worse than drawing a Soul-Scar Mage. But if we put that on top, we're committing to drawing that anyway. All right. I'm doing that to try and get the extra 2 points here. All right, we'd really like to see... We'd honestly really like to see a, I don't know what we're looking for. Like Eidolon feels a little slow from here, but it still feels okay. Not this turn, but next turn we get to attack with Din. Alright, drawing a land was like literally the worst thing that could have happened. Now, unfortunately, this was one of the issues that you run into when you keep a 5-lander. Now, I stand by the decision. Cancel. And I stand by the decision because we had doubled into the Bugbear. But, you know, the crazy part to me is that, like, at a certain point, you're kind of looking at hands like that going, what are the odds that I actually hit another land with 5 lands? Like, you're talking about literally already over 25% of your lands are in your opening hand. So it's possible, but... I feel like our opponent does not have a 5th land. They do have a 5th land. They decided maybe they don't have a Gear Hulk. Alright, Boros Stalin. This is our best play here. So try and attack for 4. Okay. Color me surprised there. We actually get 2. Okay. Are we discarding Magma Opus here? Just says go. Alright, well now our opponent's at 6 and we have a Wizard's Lightning in our hand, so that feels pretty cool. I mean... Okay. I think our opponent might have just sealed their own fate. No Spell Pierce, please. I definitely should have cast the Boros Charm first there, because having Boros Charm puts the... Alright, so we actually won. But I should have cast the Boros Charm first there, because we put them to 2 with the Boros Charm, and then we're leaving ourselves the out of our 3 Play with Fires that are left in our deck. So that was just a mistake on my part. And it's little things like that, like the little mistakes that you make like that when you're not really paying attention. Like when you're just kind of like going through the motions. I've really noticed that the last, like, I don't know how long it's been, but I've noticed that the last, like, probably few months is that when I play on paper, I very rarely, very, very rarely make those mistakes. But when I'm streaming, I make them more regularly, and I think part of that has to do with, I really like this hand. I think part of that has to do with the fact that, like, I've just come home from work and, like, I'm just like, you know, I'm just like trying to, like, relax a little bit. So unfortunately, it does kind of get in the way of me having getting effective testing in all the time. This hand is just one of those hands that can get in for a lot of damage. The Spikefield Hazard here is pretty sweet. So, opponent's hand had more air than you did. Feels good, man. Yeah, it does feel pretty good. The fact that our opponent, like that last game there, their hand wasn't great, did feel pretty sweet. So, all right. So we finally get to see if Curse of Shaken Faith is good or not. I'm going to cast the Spikefield Hazard upstairs. And then I'm going to cast the Skewer here because we're trading 3 points for 3 points. And I'd rather have that thing off the field. Hopefully here we hit an untapped land. I know that we had a land that we kind of threw away there, but I think it was better to make that play. Alright, we're putting our opponent to 7. So, like, going into our third turn, we have a pretty good slot here. Either another 1-drop burn spell, or a untapped land here kind of does it for us. Alright, we had the untapped land, feels pretty good. And we attack in for 3, and alright, we win game 1. So that feels good. We want Roiling Vortex just because sometimes these decks play the Sultai Ultimatum, Emergent Ultimatum, and Vortex is just kind of like free damage there. So okay, come here. I think these 4 cards are free ones, and I think the Play with Fires are also kind of free ones, if I'm being honest. I like having as many creatures as possible. I know that they run like Anger of the Gods and stuff like that, especially stuff that they can get after board and stuff like that, but like it's just, I don't know. I like having a turn 1 threat. I think that's really like my... What? Oh boy. Now I really like having these turn 1 threats. I have to say, I did not see that coming. I tip my hat to you, opponent. Plus, having Leyline and having a keepable 7 is not an easy thing to do. So, they get Blast Zone. I mean, we do have the option of burning ourselves for a point next turn. I'm basically committing to saying that that's 1 more point I'm okay doing to myself. Or like 1 more point I'm okay doing to them. And I think that's true. So next turn we have Vortex. We are in a little bit of a tough racing situation here, but Vortex is very good. So is this EE? It blows up anything. Each non-land permanent. Okay, so it does kind of sweep through everything there. So I do like that. I mean, that's worse for us, but I'm saying like I literally thought that thing was just EE on a land, and it is. After my small punt away to not bringing in Deflecting Palm against Charbelcher and Modern the other night, I've been reading a lot of cards just to make sure that they do what I think they do. Dark Petition. Alright. So they're probably on the ultimatum, I imagine, here. Like some variation of ultimatum. So they're going to have 4 mana after this. And they have yet to make a land drop. I mean, maybe they have Pour Over the Pages, so maybe they're searching for a Botanical Sanctum here, and they're going to put it into play and then cast... cast Pour Over the Pages and try to go off. That's very possible. If they have an extra land, they could just be searching for Lotus Field to try and kill us next turn, because they play the land this turn. Next turn, they play Lotus Field, use Hidden Strings, and go off. I remember when Dark Petition was in Standard. Okay, so they're going to cycle Vizier. They're going to untap that, and now they're going to cast Pour Over the Pages. They're actually just going to say go. I have to say, this is one of the worst draws I've seen from this deck. So, I mean, I'm not complaining. I enjoy seeing bad draws from decks like this. Alright, our opponent's at 5, and we have 2 Vortexes and an Eidolon on the field, so we're kind of playing mono red aggro taxes right now. Life total taxes. Life total taxes. I like that. I think I might start calling Burn that. All right, well, the funny part is I made the comment that last game that we finally get to see what Curse of Shaken Faith looks like in our in the deck, and we didn't even see it. Our opponent just drew very poorly, and we ended up getting there. So, I mean, this was definitely an interesting take on Modern Burn. So I think, or not Modern Burn, Pioneer Burn. From everything that I've seen about the Pioneer format, I think that this is the best way you can have the sideboard set up right now. You could probably talk me into cutting a Vortex and playing a Force Searing Blood. I don't really know if you want a Force Searing Blood, but it seems like the best, like you can't really play Lava Coil in that spot. You can't play Mizzium Mortars in that spot because you're basically never in a position to where you can overload it, and Mizzium Mortars being overloaded is what makes it so good, in my opinion. I mean, like, this is really like your best option here. Curse would have been good in that last game if you drew it, though. Yeah, absolutely. Curse would have been awesome if I would have drew it in that last game, for sure, 100%. So I mean, I don't really know what to change. Like I like the addition of cutting a lot of the stage for Skewer the Critics. Felt really cool. I enjoyed that a lot. Part of me is wondering if the 2 Wild Slashes and 2 Spikefield Hazards wouldn't be better served as Skullcracks. Although I do understand the extra 1-drops. The 1-drops really help you play Skewer faster. So, I don't know. I feel like a little bit of that is up for debate. I really like Skullcrack and some variations of Skullcrack. Some number of Skullcrack in this deck. Maybe you're cutting the Spikefield Hazards for 2 Skullcracks, and maybe you play 2 Skullcracks. I don't know. We could try that sometime. Yeah.